Coming up on Oily Trash Movies. Oh. Oh my goodness, so scary.
Should I do my, it's so spooky?
No, just try to sound like a normal person, please. Or try to sound creepy. Just be like, ooh, spooky.
I don't know how to do that.
Okay, well then, whatever. Or we're live. Hello and welcome to Oily Trash Movies. This is the only podcast where two people say unfunny things
Hello.
the entire time. Oh, you know what I just realized, Bubble?
What?
Do you know what today's date is?
No, what's today's date?
It's October, which means it's time for Trashoween.
Ooh, so spooky.
That's right. This is the only podcast on YouTube that's doing something special for the month of October. So tune in. Make sure to like and subscribe.
Make sure to follow us in our YouTube and in real life.
Go full Michael Myers on us and just be like standing spookily on the sidewalk as we walk past and just stare at us and don't move. Anyway, we're your hosts. I'm Daddy Scarebucks.
And I'm Zombie Barbie.
Today we're going to be watching, as promised for many weeks, Superdeep, a Shudder original horror film. It promises to be ultra spooky for Trashoween. But before we get into that, last week we watched one of the most miserable movies we've ever seen, Hunt Club.
Oh, it was so miserable. Please do not watch it. Just, if you really despise someone, if you have an enemy, recommend it to them.
Yeah, that's a great way to get revenge, and we had a lot of bad things to say about this movie, and I think, just to clarify, we had tossed around the word feminism a few times and called it a feminist movie, but that was sort of inaccurate, and I think we just lacked the vocabulary to like talk about the ideology. Really, it was what you would call a radical feminist movie, in which it just spewed ideology. And, you know, all forms of thought have radical factions, and I think a great litmus to tell if your movie or if your ideology is radicalized is if you have to invent your own language to describe what you're talking about. And we talked about that a little bit last week.
And for me, as a female, what was more offensive about that is, like, I can tell that it was an ideology that wasn't written by a woman. I mean, you could see it. It was written by a man, and he just took like a woman's class.
Quite
and
literally.
it's like, literally. And he went into a woman's class. He's like, this is what women like. So it was very radical for sure. And that's what made me not like this movie.
And I think to sort of fix that is, instead of trying to paint the villains as evil because they're standing around a fire talking about how they want to be alpha males and be masculine, as we said, like, maybe you show one of them slip like a drug into somebody's drink or have like a history of domestic abuse. Like, you actually show them being evil and doing evil things.
Exactly. And like I said, like, have a scene where these men, instead of a fire, are physically doing those bad things, abusing them.
Yeah, you have maybe like a collection of scenes that shows each of these bad guys doing something truly despicable in their life. You know, whatever it may be, let your imagination run wild. And then I think how you fix the structure of the movie is you have to set up right at the beginning. You have them gathered up. You say, okay, listen, you get a 24-hour head start. We're going to release you into the woods. And then we're going to come hunt you. And whoever survives, for, 48 hours or 72 hours wins $100,000. But, the twist is nobody ever survives. And then you have the first act when they're all just running out into the woods for the first day. That is where you introduce all these characters. We had the one character who said she was a community leader, but I really don't know what that means. It sounds like some sort of volunteer position to like coordinate bingo at the fire hall. But maybe you have somebody who's like a project manager, and then she sort of organizes the women. And then you have like a doctor or a nurse who can provide first aid, and you learn each of their stories, and then you have someone who perhaps is like a into hiking and camping, and she can like build a fire, and you have these women maybe embody roles that are traditionally seen as masculine, and you have them use their skills and work as a team to survive. And then that, in a sense, becomes a feminist movie, like an actual traditional feminist movie, in the sense that it's showing, like, listen, these are strong women who can do things that, even though you typically would expect a man to be able to build a fire or a man to, like, go hunting, these women still have the skills and the perseverance, and they
Mm-hmm.
win at the end of the day. And that's how you make that a good movie, I think.
Right. Like one example of a very good feminine movie, I think, and I actually watched it again a couple days ago, was Hannah. It's I believe it's on Netflix. So if you guys haven't seen that movie, I highly recommend it. It's about a teen girl who is strong in her own, is strong-willed in her own, and is taking her power. In order for her to gain her freedom, she needs to essentially remove the target that's behind her back or whatever it's occurring. But she's a very strong feminine character, and I love things like that. That's a best way to write a strong female lead, and I recommend watching that. And I think we also talked about this, and I know you said it, you might have said it in your own way, was we talked about there not being enough hunting or having that hunter aspect to it. It was mostly just the guys sitting in the fire talking about how they're men and want to be manly men, and then having the women walking around and just randomly killing people. So I feel that thinking back, the female characters weren't written to stand on their own. I think the male characters were written more complex than the females. So it's just interesting how it's a quote unquote feminist movie, but the female characters were lacking and the male characters were stronger. Looking back to it now that I'm seeing that, I don't know how to describe it in the best way that I can.
I think the best word that we used to describe the movie last week was shallow.
Yes, yes, the female characters were so shallow, and I mean, all of them were. I didn't care for any of them.
It was a
Hmm.
shallowly written movie. It was, again, the movie was just built around the monologues, which were essentially like almost cartoonish in their unbelievability.
Right, very cartoonish.
All right, that's enough
Completely.
about Hunt Club. It was terrible.
Ugh, it was bad. It's just a bad movie. Don't
Everything's
watch
bad.
it.
Yeah, this is a bad movie. The hell with that movie. This week we're
Yeah.
watching Superdeep. Finally completing our deep trifecta following Deep House and Quest for the Deep Star. Bubble, do you have the synopsis for this film?
Yes, I do. The director is Arseni Arseni Suyuhin. Suyuhin. Um,
Why even try?
and then the writers are Saray Forchilin. The screenplay is Victor Bonvorvyuk, and it's about 115 minutes. So we are doing this for you guys. This is long. It's a small research team went down below the surface to find out what a secret the world's deepest borehole was hiding. What they have found turned out to be the greatest threat in history and the future of humanity in their hands.
Oh my goodness. So, like the other or one of the other Shutter movies we watched, Death Valley, this
Mm-hmm.
looks like the kind of movie that's going to have a lot of underground bunker sequences. This takes place in Russia. All of those names you couldn't pronounce were, I believe, all Russian or
Yeah,
Slavic
they
names.
are.
That could be
Yeah.
Ukrainian or other regions of the
I
world there.
butchered their names because I had no idea. I was like, it could be Arabic. It could be, I mean, Victor Bon Bornyavok. Now that I know that it's Russian.
It's like someone spilled out a bag of Scrabble letters.
Yeah, Arseniy Subykhin. I don't know. That's what I would assume is his name if it's Russian. I'm sorry, guys. I tried.
All right, are we ready to get into this?
Let's go.
All right, so I'm loving this set here already with
Yeah.
everything's dark in the background, so you can't tell that it's some cheap set. All of the medical equipment looks great. Ah, gross.
I love how their medical stuff is like a microwave. Like that's on the 2 microwaves, you know? We're also a podcast who hates microwaves, so this is a no microwave zone, but if it's used for a prop movie, heck yeah, destroy that microwave. Yeah, see? Microwaves.
I want another shot of that letter she was writing because it looked way too fancy of handwriting for a human being to ever produce. And she's left-handed, so it should be all smeared.
Wrong. I have pretty good writing. And I'm also left-handed.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I'm also left-handed.
Shut up!
Yeah. I can't believe we've never discussed this. This is something that I'm really proud of for whatever reason. Oh, she's eating caviar.
Caviar. So this is in the past?
Yes, at least this part of the movie. This is during the Soviet Union. Oh man, beautiful.
Oh man, the song.
We're probably gonna have to mute this song.
The song is a 1970s early rock song.
This reminds me of the intro to Predator. I hope this whole movie takes place in the 70s.
Yeah.
Oh my god, he's a zombie.
He's me! I'm a zombie.
Oh, zombie Barbie.
Put it down! Now!
Grenade!
Put the fucking grenade down!
It makes me question, were the fur boots and the fur coat even invented in the 70s?
Bubble,
think
people
so.
have been wrapping themselves in animal furs since the dawn of mankind. I love this skinny, nerdy Russian. I can relate to him so well.
You look like him.
Thanks, I guess.
I hope stuff gets really serious pretty quickly. I hope it's not a movie that's just 2 hours of a lot of stuff that they could have cut.
Yeah, already this feels like this is going on too long.
It's your girl mustache. He looks so 70s too. Like it's perfect.
Yeah, he's even got like a bit of a mullet going. I'll put a mustache on the Daddy WarBux avatar when you say that.
Yeah. Oh, look at that spray paint. Did you see that spray paint work?
Yeah. Yeah, I love all of this here. Actually, I feel like some of this might be CGI.
That's CGI, yeah.
Cool, we're going down deep. Super deep.
That would be me and Aunt Mom. It's 2 soldiers praying. Because it's like literally going to hell.
It really is. It's a nice touch having that wound on her face the entire time.
Latvia, am I right?
So that's going to be a reoccurring joke, or I don't know if it's necessarily a joke. It's definitely going to be reoccurring where he keeps trying to guess her accent, and it's just going to go completely over our heads because we don't know anything about Russian culture.
Yeah.
I don't know. I could not tell an Estonian accent from a Latvian accent to save my life. I couldn't even find those 2 places on a map, honestly.
This is cool.
Yeah, I like the look of all of this.
I do like the hint of pop of color. There's the blue, the red, orange, and yellow. And green, obviously. Oh, it's Limpy, the little piglet.
Oh my god, that's so mean.
Aw, cut that. If you don't cut that, I'm gonna stalk you.
Man, if Cryo had sets like this, it would have been such a better movie.
Yeah. And dialogue that was way better.
So is this a set or is this a facility of some sort?
It could be both.
Russian architecture and really Eastern European architecture is very different from American architecture, so it's hard to tell. There was a old-timey reel-to-reel projector in that last room. Great touches. Constantly reinforcing that this is like in the 70s or 80s.
He's here!
Oh
my
goodness. She betrayed him.
Oh, and they just blew him away?
This is the bad guy. This is Mr. Business.
Yeah, G-Man.
Deliver us from evil. Did you see that?
Yeah, it was awesome.
Is that a door that they're trying to break in? Like, dude, I would see that and it's like, let's not.
Yeah, the door that's been welded shut that has all kinds of "Save us from evil" inscriptions on it.
Yeah.
I love this room they're in.
Yeah.
Like everything's
Oh my
just
God.
wrapped in, I mean, like what looks like thermal blankets maybe, or some sort of insulation. And then there's just random breaker boxes on the walls, but it looks great.
Yeah, I kind of want to steal that. I want to steal this idea set. I haven't seen one guy in a jumpsuit. I'm pissed off.
A tracksuit,
A tracksuit, yeah. What's the brand that they use?
Adidas.
Adidas.
I'm actually a little bit disappointed that this is a zombie movie. I was hoping there were going to be monsters,
Oh yeah.
but it is Trashoween, so it's fitting. And this might actually be the first zombie movie we've watched.
No, Jurassic Thunder.
Oh yeah, that did have zombies in it. Oh, this is going to be gross.
Probably a birthmark.
Oh my goodness, there's like mold and death and necrotic tissue. Ugh.
That's cool.
That is awesome practical effects. It looked like there were cultures of mold growing out of it.
Just like Big Daddy's wife. Over.
Big Daddy WarBux.
It's a forest.
It does look like an overhead shot of trees.
Yeah. Molecules are having a rave party. Boots and pants and boots and pants and boots and pants and boots and pants. Like that's their like rave lights.
Oh man, she's transforming further. Maybe she'll be like the mold creatures from The Last of Us.
We can't do this alone.
Oh, I like the sound design here with how
Yeah,
fast.
this is cool. Feels like as if Stan Gaffin was the sound guy.
It's actually tense. Oh, and like that slow ramp up of the volume. This is so much more tense than the Deep House scene where they were playing just some silly oldies music. This is also really similar to Death Valley in the fact that they're doing underground medical research. But I feel like this has been way better than Death Valley so far.
Yeah, I agree. I agree as well. Including the boring dialogue.
Oh. Ah, my goodness, that scared me.
Oh, what an idiot.
Was that the sample that just broke open?
Yeah.
Hey, you okay?
A tracksuit! Adidas! Hell yeah! Sure. And then you have the two scaredy cats, which were the guys who were praying the rosemary before they were when they were dropping down. Ew, is the creature eating a human?
Is there going to be like a human being at the center of this, or that it's all growing out of? Yeah, just close the door.
Yeah.
Lock yourself in there with the giant room-sized monster.
At least they didn't run away and leave the door wide open like Death Valley. There's the human.
She is. This is the second movie that we can draw a direct parallel to the movie Annihilation. Oh, that's the patient. That escalated quickly.
Get the sample. That's what matters.
Ugh.
Even though we are trapped here forever.
Bulgaria?
Oh man, spores in the face as he makes his last guess. Damn, this movie reminds me of Blimpy.
They're just doing a good job describing what's happening to her scientifically. The victim who just became a zombie is more of a scientist than our main lead here.
Apparently, these are magic mushrooms grown out of people
Yeah.
because she's tripping balls right now.
Yeah, she is.
What, so the fire extinguisher somehow neutralizes the toxins? Was that what I'm supposed to believe?
I guess it does because it freezes them.
See, we've got great use of lights here, whereas unlike Spare Parts, which had blinking garish lights the entire time, we had a normal lit scene, and now the alarms are going off and things are flashing. So you've got the same set, but two different looks.
Also, the way they did it is specifically with that scientist, they added a yellow light in front. So the red light is behind him, and the front is clear and lit.
We might be reading a bit into the lighting decisions, but regardless,
Yeah.
it
It
at
works!
least makes interesting scenes, visually interesting.
Yes. This is so interesting because at the time that this is taking place, there's such conspiracy when it comes to like the North Pole and the USSR.
Well, this is also very much referencing all of Russia's chemical biological warfare facilities, which they're quite well known for. This is actually kind of interesting because in a traditional zombie movie, it's going to be like, we can't let this escape. And because this is the Soviet Union, it's like, we got to get this zombie to escape so we can use it as a weapon.
Bro, you are a weapon. You need to get to the surface and infect the entire United States.
Oh, this is so spooky.
So spooky. Ooh. Not the guys that were saying the rosemary. Rosary.
Rosemary.
Cut the yeah, cut that part because Aunt Mom would be so disappointed. I don't want her to be disappointed in me.
I pray the rosemary. That's what Gordon Ramsay does when he's making Thanksgiving turkey. This is kind of frustrating that we have to watch these guys while all of the action happens off screen.
I know. Hopefully we get to see the action. This movie is not scary.
That was actually one of my complaints, is that there's nothing scary happening. I feel like the characters were not delineated very well. There needed to be the scene where they go all around and they each say something that sort of is indicative of their personality.
Like, hi, I'm Mr. Flash. Hi, I'm Sailor Moon. Like that.
Oh, yeah. I was actually thinking like classic movies like the intro to Predator, which I specifically said that the beginning helicopter scene reminded me of the intro of Predator. Reservoir Dogs by Quentin Tarantino is another great example where they're all sitting around the diner table and they all sort of give a little bit of their personality to the audience. We never had that with this cast.
This is like the most intense that has happened. Like this movie is not scary at all.
Yeah, this is strangely surreal though with that choice of music.
Yeah. Ooh, spooky.
But it's learned to melt bodies together for warmth.
Oh my goodness. Body horror. I love it.
Like Centipede. If any of our stalkers want to know how War looks like, he looks like that scientist guy with the mustache and sunglasses. But with no skin and no muscle, and he's just a skeleton. If he drinks a bottle of whiskey and just slams it, I'm gonna be like, oh my god, it's Daddy WarBux.
No, he's Russian. It'll be vodka. Oh my god, is that all one giant monster?
Yeah.
How Lovecraftian. I want to see like more body horror stuff.
I know, me too.
Oh, jeez.
He killed a hot guy?
Who saw the scientist being the evil guy?
Peter. Go fuck yourself.
Ooh.
Ooh, the cinematographer is tilting the camera slightly.
The classic Dutch angle. Oh, cool.
Oh my goodness, is that the hot guy?
No, it wasn't the hot guy. I think the hot guy's still alive. I think that was the people that had already died.
Oh, okay.
They were all melted together.
Oh, it's walking, and then the humans are agonized.
This is kind of horrifying now.
Ugh, it is.
Like, just
Like
the
Centipede.
anguished screams of the damned.
Yeah.
Like all of your existence is just pain and suffering.
Oh, this is hell. I'm gonna throw a bucket of ice.
Yeah, like splash it in its face.
Yeah. And it goes, I'm melting. Wig wolf scene.
I wonder if she's gonna have to dump it over herself. Ice bucket challenge style, and then like maybe the creature won't be able to see her. So this is exactly what Arnold Schwarzenegger had to do in The Predator to hide from its heat sinking abilities.
What if there's a scene where her like her shirt like becomes less of a shirt?
I mean, I could hope. I mean, she's in a wet shirt and is extremely cold. We'll see how accurate that was on set. The kid's got the key card.
Oh, there's that guy. Oh, it's the woman. So is this the allegory of like this creature is the devil?
I don't think so. No, I think it's more like an allegory for specifically Soviet era style times with like authoritarian states. It kind of maybe represents a loss of individuality. You know what living in a tyranny is like.
The hot guy. Shh. Hot guy scene.
Oh my god. Bubble, you know, what if I were like this every time a hot chick came on the scene?
You are like that every single time a hot chick comes into the scene. And this guy's so hot that let me enjoy him. She has a good... No, the hot guy!
Oh my god, is that the monster Kool-Aid Manning that wall?
Think so.
It was. God, this is exactly like the monster in Breach with Bruce Willis, which is a terrible movie. I called it a good movie by mistake. It's a terrible movie. But this creature looks so much better. Oh shit, it's so slow! Oh my god! Ah!
Come on, hot guy. Use your muscles. I want to
Yeah.
see those bulging veins.
Oh my god! Oh, is it gonna reach its arm through and then get cut off? Oh, fuck!
Look at his eyes. They're little mushrooms.
This is so good. It's a bit derivative of Last of Us, but still works.
Yugoslavia.
Oh, and this is... We finally got the completion of that arc. It was, or the payoff, at least. It wasn't really an arc, it was the setup and payoff. And he gets to die with satisfaction knowing where her accent came from.
Aww.
Perfectly structured script.
Aw, the
That's who she
kiss.
kisses? Blech.
Aww.
Oh, she's infected anyway, so...
Yeah. This music is great.
I know, I was thinking that same thing. Not all of the music worked for me in this movie, but when it did, it really added to the scene.
For our audience, it's very synthwave.
See, this is the exact opposite of Death Valley, where I said I hate when our characters die at the end, because he died for nothing. But if she dies here saving the world, then it gives meaning.
Right. Well, that was glorious, which none of our audience watched. You guys should go watch Glorious.
But they recovered her, which
Her,
has
yeah.
the sample.
Well, they completed it because they wanted a host to get to the surface. Remember that?
Yeah, but now the Soviet Union is going to unleash a biological weapon on the whole world.
Don't move.
Oh, it's the same thing the other survivor did. He pulled a grenade and blew himself up, remember?
No, I don't remember.
What perfect symmetry. I like this. I like circular plots. Oh, we need Jimmy to catch that grenade.
Oh, I know. Jimmy.
Jimmy.
Ah.
All right, I like that. I was satisfied with the ending.
Yeah.
She killed herself to save the world.
Yeah, I would recommend this movie. I think this is a great date night movie for sure. Netflix and chill. This is interesting. I think it's also pleasing to Zoomers because they're not going to be watching the entire thing. They're just going to be on their phones, but they would be looking up in some moments, and then they don't really have to get the entire dialogue. And once they get under and see the creature, they'll be really into it, and they'll love this movie.
The payoff at the end was amazing with the creature and then the other guy who was like half zombified. I would have liked to have seen some scary, freaky tentacles on the big giant underground thing. That seemed a little bit underwhelming, and I was sort of disappointed. But then the monster, the big amalgamation of all of the staff that had been killed off so far, that was truly horrifying. And it's a horrifying concept.
It really is. I liked the fact that as the audience, we were just hearing people screaming in agony, and we weren't really seeing the creature, but we could hear the big steps of it, where obviously it morphed into something. That is very terrifying. And it also left the audience of a kind of hint of imagination, which is really horrifying in its horror genre. Like sometimes you don't have to show us the creature, you could just hint at the creature and we could imagine it. Because again, the biggest CGI is our imagination. And I think that was brilliantly done. What I would change about this movie is completely cut it down to an hour to 90 minutes. A lot of this, like, I understand why it was the length that it was. Like, they were adding the backstory, they were adding the characters, they were adding all this stuff and build up to the really satisfying creature scene, which was 10 minutes of the last 20 minutes of this whole entire movie. And I would cut that. It's the only thing that I would change. Other than that, great sets, great practical effects, great CGI, great cast. This is an okay movie. This is pretty good. I recommend this.
Yeah, I think this is everything Death Valley wanted to be and failed at. The monster, and specifically, we're talking about the screaming, like that, all of the sound design, because there was like also just like a moaning sound, like a shrill sort of. I don't know. Maybe I imagined it, but it felt truly hellish. I was reminded in parts of Event Horizon. I was reminded of Event Horizon during the hell sequences when everybody is like deformed and like they're kind of melted into each other too. Like it shows you so little that all you can see is horror. I think you could have done without the black and white intro, even though it did look good. It was a fun scene. And then the dinner party following that. We didn't need Anna's backstory. I would have rather traded that for more individualism and all of the characters here. I had mentioned during our watching, you needed a sequence like in Reservoir Dogs or Predator, maybe while they're on the helicopter or while they're on the elevator going down. You just have the camera make a big circle and they each say something that distinguishes them from the other characters, because I had a real hard time keeping people apart in this movie.
I did not. That's just War's disability. So one thing I just noticed, they also made her hotter as the movie went on. Like, do you see her hair like slick back tight?
Her hair came down, she took her clothes off, and she was in a
Mm-hmm.
tank top. Those were good scenes. Those were definitely thumbnail material. But everything in the script was structured perfectly, right up from where you had that freezer room, and you showed the bucket of ice, and you showed that pig, and then she makes it back there, and then she sort of that becomes integral to the plot. The whole accent, asking where her accent is from, like that's kind of it didn't really hit for me, but I appreciate that it was a completed motif that had a payoff in this movie, because it makes it feel like real characters, because that's how people talk. And yeah, it just it makes the characters feel more real, because that's how people are in real life. And so from a script perspective, I really enjoyed this movie. Maybe it was a bit overwritten at parts, like I said, or as we've both said, and as we say every time we see a longer movie, this could have been done in 90 minutes or an hour 45 minutes. Easily did not need to be as long as it was.
Yeah, it did not. I really liked it. The cast was great. The characters were great. I could pinpoint everybody. I knew the difference between all of them and their entire arcs. So I recognized everyone. I know that it might be difficult for people who struggle as War does when they can't see faces, like, and also like our hot guy kept changing outfits, and that would always give him a different look. So War was probably like, oh wow, look at this new guy.
Who's this character? Why didn't they introduce him?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I recommend this movie. What do you give it?
I would give this. I want to say 5 WarBux. This might make my top 10 list, to be honest.
Yeah, I agree. I think this is a top 10 as well. It wasn't glorious, even though it's the same production.
Well, it's the same distribution.
Distribution, that's right. Yes. I think I also give it 5 war can I borrow 5 warbucks? I also give this 5 bubble gums. This is good. I recommend this. I think couples would enjoy this. Singles would enjoy this. Zoomers would enjoy this. Grannies would enjoy this because of that table, you know.
Yeah, they're gonna love the 70s decor.
Yeah, so I think this is a little bit of for everybody who likes. It wasn't the only thing, it wasn't as scary, but it paid off at the end. So it took a while. It's a payoff film. It's great. I feel really good about this.
You know what? This is the perfect movie to kick off Trashoween.
It is the perfect movie yeah, it really is because it's horrifying.
I give it 5 scare bucks.
And I give it 5 zombie bucks.
All right. Take care, comb your hair.
And remember to mace on your morphed body centipede underground monster's face.
Bye.
Bye.